Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we only have 3 words for you. Yes, yes, yes. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to, oddly, a non-preview and a non-review edition of Lost in the Midcard, but we have plenty to talk about because plenty was going on this week. Lots of great stuff in the wrestling world. We'll get right to it, but first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button, that way you know every time a new episode comes your way, every Thursday and every Monday after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. The links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. Go to the pinned post there. Also, you can go to our pinned tweet at LITMC Podcast, also where we share some of the great tweets within the wrestling world. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Delightful!
Yes! Would you like some green beans?
No, thank you.
George Washington, I knew you'd come, you little jokester. Give Queen Rebecca back her hat. So, good week in wrestling, huh?
It's pretty hard to, if you can overall complain after the last 72 hours of programming. Like I don't even know what to tell you. I thought between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT this week, it was a pretty fun 3 days of wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, everything wasn't perfect, but I thought the good heavily outweighed the bad.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't like it, I would just suggest to just watch the Monday Night Wars on loop, apparently, because I don't know what else is going to make you happy. Obviously, let's kick it off with the top story. A bombshell dropped on Tuesday afternoon, hours before SmackDown Live was set to air. Daniel Bryan medically cleared to return to in-ring action. That was announced by the WWE. That was not just announced by a dirt sheet or any sheet or any Satin or any Meltzer or any Russo. Oh, wait, Russo's no longer. Sorry. But yes, Daniel friggin' Bryan is medically cleared to return to in-ring action in the WWE. Matt, what were your thoughts when you first saw the news?
Well, when I first heard the news, I heard it from you, and I thought you were fucking with me.
Nope.
I was in my car. I was in the car with a friend of mine. We were going to get some food for lunch, and you sent me the message, but you didn't link me to the article or anything. You didn't link me to the tweet, and I thought you were just fucking with me.
I wouldn't do that.
So even without waiting for your answer, I immediately went over and started searching the Twitter machine. And it honestly, when I saw the headline and I started reading the article, I got emotional. I got very emotional. I started to well up a bit. I couldn't help it. I could not control the emotion that came out of me when I saw this, because some people could have said that this was never ever going to happen, and for it to become a reality, to somebody who's fought for this and done everything within his power to get to this point, you couldn't help but you just be overjoyed and happy for him. And make no mistake about it, anybody who's worried that he's going to go in there and hurt himself further, at the end of the day, he's just as likely to end up with another concussion as anybody else who steps foot in that ring. If they thought he was a problem, he wouldn't have been taking a hell of a kick in a freaking pop-up powerbomb on the ring apron, back to back within minutes of themselves, if they thought he was coming back and he was going to be fragile.
Yeah.
They're not going. they're not going halfway. They're not like, oh, okay, we're gonna let you wrestle, but we're gonna treat you with kid gloves. That's not what WWE does. You're either all in or you're all out. And clearly, he got enough doctors to put him, to get this clearance to come back. It's not like a, it's not. Well, you can do this, but you can't do that. I mean, he's fully cleared to do whatever. I fully hope he's smart enough to never do the diving headbutt again.
Yeah.
Or I would prefer never to see him do that or the tope suicida again.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I wish he would take those two moves and just completely remove them from his arsenal.
I mean, remember,
just for his safety and long-term health for him, I wish he would remove that. But beyond that, this dude's good to go, man.
Yeah. Remember when Austin first got injured? He changed his game up, and still, the tail end of his career was not bad at all.
No, absolutely not.
We got Austin Rock 3 at WrestleMania. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I want to say 19.
You got to keep in mind that the best part of Austin's career occurred after Owen dropped him on his head.
Yeah.
The night Owen dropped him on his head and gave him that serious neck injury was the night he won the Intercontinental title. He wasn't even sniffing the World Championship at that point.
Yeah.
So, he went on to have a very successful long-term career. I guess you might not want to use the word long-term, but he had a pretty damn good run following that injury that a lot of people probably wouldn't have been able to have.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the odds of Daniel Bryan getting another concussion are just as good of the Undertaker stepping in the ring of John Cena in New Orleans and getting another concussion.
Yeah.
Or Shelton Benjamin getting a concussion, or Heath Slater getting a concussion. It's not, it's just the risk that you take by stepping into that ring.
Yeah.
And will people be afraid every time he takes a move to the head? Probably for the first couple months until everybody gets used to it again. Probably, yeah.
Well, it's like
no, this is what he wants to do.
Well, it's like every time Seth Rollins landed on his knee after he returned, you're like, and then he's actually kayfabing the knee, and you're like, or like Adam Cole kayfabing the knee tonight. That was pretty damn good, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's just something that the fans are going to have to deal with for the first couple months. I feel like there's going to be people that are cringing every time he gets hit in the head, and you're gonna have to go with it.
Daniel Bryan, 36. I mean, by all intents and purposes, 36 is the prime ages of a pro wrestler's career for the most part. So there's
a lot of people would argue that a lot of wrestlers didn't even reach their high prime till their early 40s.
Yeah, and, I mean, shit, DDP didn't even get started till he was 35. So, and maybe the 2 years off is a blessing. That's 2 years of mileage that's not on Daniel Bryan. So, it's a
fresh talent in the ring with a whole bunch of new dream matches that everybody didn't think was going to be possible.
We're gonna have to bring the 5 count back for WrestleMania, and we're gonna have to put our 5 Daniel Bryan dream matches.
I'm okay with that. That'll work. I've been okay with not doing the 5 count for a while, but that's one. That's what I'm actually excited to put a list together and do that.
Yeah, I mean, when you get 18 pay-per-views in a year, sometimes it's hard to come up with a fresh one every time. And plus, it's like 10:30 by the time we get recording, so it's like 11:30 your time. So, Daniel Bryan took to Twitter, saying goodbye to the ring was one of the hardest moments of my life, but thanks to the amazing people supporting me, I was able to keep fighting for my dream. This moment feels surreal, and I'm glad to be able to talk to you at the beginning of SmackDown Live tonight. Needless to say, I was witnessing it all. The internet exploded when this happened, and not just the fans. It was the entire WWE locker room exploded on social media when this happened. AJ Styles, I couldn't be happier for Daniel. Being away 2 years must have felt like an eternity, but today he's back where he belongs. Shinsuke Nakamura, this is great news. No one needs to wish anymore. They can see it with their eyes. Hashtag Nakamura versus Bryan. Yes, please. Charlotte Flair, Kurt Angle. Oh, Kurt Angle. So, Daniel Bryan's cleared to wrestle. I'm liking this a lot. It's true. Hashtag WrestleMania 35. Oh, we got to have a battle of the GMs one of these days. Seth Rollins with a great tweet. This may be a first in all of professional sports. So stoked for Bryan and for what it could mean for head trauma research and rehabilitation in contact athletics. Great tweet.
Absolutely.
Great tweet by Rollins there.
A very forward-thinking tweet.
Matt Hardy. The 7 deities have bestowed a kindness upon the WWE Universe in return for deleting Bray and Abigail to the Lake of Reincarnation. We have been rewarded with a regenerated vessel, the Dragon of America. It was truly the ultimate Deletion! I love it. Gold Dust, Dillinger, Killian Dane, Lillian Garcia, Stephen Amell, Alexander Wolf, Sin Cara, Aiden English. Aiden English. What a Rusev Day surprise! Because Matt, it did happen. His return happened.
It did happen on Rusev Day.
It did happen on Rusev Day. Kathy Kelly, Becky Lynch, Billie Kay, all wishing Daniel well. Backstage word is that Bryan was going to open SmackDown. That did happen. Speaking of welling up, that happened too. Let's keep going here. We got that out of the way with Daniel. Shane McMahon, congratulations to Daniel Bryan on being cleared for in-ring competition. We're all happy to welcome you back. Triple H, WWE's primary concern is the health and wellness of our performers. It was sure a long 2 years for Daniel Bryan, but glad he can make a healthy return to doing what he loves, performing for the WWE Universe in the ring. Even more. I mean, like I said, the outpouring of support just from his peers was insane. Naomi, Lita, Tamina, Snuka, Heath Slater, Paige. Congrats, Daniel Bryan overcoming what looked like a career-ending injury to being fully cleared and ready to compete again. Real-life Superman gives hope to a lot of people who never give up on your passion. Inspiring. Those probably ring true with Paige, who hopefully someday.
Oh, that definitely rang true with Paige. It gave her a new. I think it gave Paige a new outlook on life, almost.
Yep.
And she feels like in the words of Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance?
Samsonite.
You know, she's taking that small glimmer of hope that maybe someday, with proper treatment and God's blessing, that maybe someday Paige will get back into a WWE ring as well.
Exactly. Kevin Steen posted. Yeah, I say Kevin Steen because why, Matt?
He changed his account.
And somebody stole Fight Owens' fight. He tried to play off the being fired, and yeah. Well, like I told Matt, Twitter can strong arm those people that hovered or stole accounts. So I don't worry about that one. We'll get it back. But Kevin Owens, congratulations, man! I was in the crowd the night you won the title in New Orleans. I was on the stage the night you announced you had to walk away from in-ring competition in Seattle. I can't wait to be in the arena tonight in Dallas to see this, obviously, because we all know what happened later. The Miz. Oh, look, Daniel Bryan is cleared. Yay! Another feud I would love to see. Welcome back, Danny Boy. That's, of course, from Sheamus. Chad Gable. Matt, did you see Chad Gable's tweet? Father and son tag team?
Father-son tag team, yeah.
Renee Young, so happy for Daniel Bryan. Can't wait to hear the crowd react when Sweet Beats makes his entrance. Brooklyn Brawler, Drew McIntyre, Ryback even, EC3. Good, I've been meaning to punch him in the face for years now. Bull James, X-Pac, all welcoming or being happy with the return of Daniel Bryan. John Cena also got in on the return. So truly a great moment in professional wrestling history that's gonna be.
And honestly, you have to say, besides the minority, because there's a minority out there of everything, this is the most universally positive that I've seen the pro wrestling community in a long time over any one subject. The return of Daniel Bryan yesterday really brought out the best, and I would say 95% of the entire pro wrestling community, and it was a really nice thing to see. And to the 5% that want to be bitter and want to think for the worst and want to be assholes, just stop being fans. Honestly, just stop.
I think Vince would have,
because at the end of the day, nothing's going to make you guys happy.
Vince would have something to say to those guys, right?
I don't think Vince has anything to say to anybody right now. He's still too bad that the Ultimate Deletion was a success.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know if it was Meltzer or something, but Vince thought it was going to flop. Nope.
I wanted it to bomb, damn it! I could bury Matt Hardy and say, I'd put you on 205 Live, pal, but you're not 205.
You're fat! No, I was trying to get you to say shut up to those people hating on Daniel Bryan, but...
I don't tell you anybody. You can't make me do what you want.
All right, Vince. I
know what you want better than you do. You need to shut up!
Apparently you want us to freeze our ass off at WrestleMania 35, because WrestleMania is returning to MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey for WrestleMania 35, April 9th, 2019. Second time it's hosted. The second time this newish stadium has hosted WrestleMania 29 occurred in 2013. So cool stuff.
Dude, I did that once. I'd never do it again.
Yeah,
it was so fucking cold.
I mean, a fucking nor'easter has just come through that area, and WrestleMania is 2 weeks away.
Yeah, we just got hit with 5 to 10 today.
Yeah, that could happen in April.
We got snowed in. We got a lot of freaking snow today, and I'm telling you, man, it was really, really windy that day. I don't remember any weather except for maybe there might have been like a mild rain, and I can't even 100% remember if there was that or not. But it was really, really fucking cold. And I was just in Miami the year before.
Yeah.
And I've done WrestleManias in domes and stuff with roofs. Like, I'd never want to do MetLife again. It's too fucking cold. And WWE got away with with 29, with the weather being what it was. They could very easily be potentially having WrestleMania 35 in a blizzard.
Yeah. Could you imagine
next year?
Could you imagine?
Fuck that.
Could you imagine dumbasses throwing snowballs at the ring? Yeah,
unfortunately, I could very much imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, it's Roman Reigns! Oh no, it's a snowball fight, Mamma Mia!
Yeah, imagine if it was at an outdoor stadium in Philly with snow. That would be funny. They throw batteries at Santa Claus. Hall of Fame, Raw and SmackDown afterwards, all will take place at the Barclays Center. Of course, the Barclays Center wasn't a thing in 2013 because they did Hall of Fame at the Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
And then they did SmackDown Raw at Izod in East Rutherford, which I don't know if Izod even exists anymore.
I don't even think they did SmackDown there.
Yeah.
I think they were done after Raw.
Mike Johnson says they did it. So, and yes, Izod Center no longer a thing. Outside of Ultimate Deletion, the WrestleMania announcement, Daniel Bryan, a little something that got swept under the rug was the fact that a week ago, CM Punk made it official. He will be fighting at UFC 225 in Chicago, June 9th at the United Center. It is not announced who he will be fighting yet, I don't think. There are some rumors, but nothing concrete yet. But
all signs point to Mike Jackson.
Yes. But Punk... Yeah. Watch out for Billie Jean. Yes, all signs point to Punk 225, and then hopefully all signs point to Punk All In 9-1. How you doing?
Well, he'd have to lose.
True. Well, maybe. Some updates on Jeff Hardy, Dean Ambrose. Jeff Hardy's wife, Beth, noted that Jeff went in his final scheduled physical therapy session last week for his torn labrum and rotator cuff. He's currently working off the ring rust at the PC. Of course, Brother Nero showed up at Ultimate Deletion, which we'll break down very soon. He's been out of action since September in a 6-way match on Raw. And he's slated to appear in court April 16th for his arrest from March 10th. And so all signs point there to him returning as Brother Nero, most likely, after what happened at Ultimate Deletion. Some non-WWE WrestleMania week notes for you here. A bunch of matches have been added to WrestleCon and Supercard of Honor. Jeremiah Crane, who's better known also as Sami Callihan. Eddie Edwards will get his revenge against Callihan in an I Quit match. The whole thing is Impact versus Lucha Underground, so it'll be Jeremiah Crane against Eddie Edwards, but it'll be an I Quit match. 6-man tag match. Lucha Underground's Aerostar King Cuerno and Drago will take on DJ Z, Andrew Evett, and Desmond Xavier. And The Mac and Killshot. That'll be a fun tag team from Lucha Underground. They take on the Impact Tag Champs LAX. And the main event was announced today, and this is a killer one. Phoenix is going to tag with Austin Aries to take on Pentagon Jr. and Alberto El Patron. That is the main event of Impact versus Lucha Underground. That is sweet. That's going to be a fucking sweet show. Supercard of Honor, Tomohiro Ishii is going to take on Punishment Martinez. Kota Ibushi takes on Hangman Page. That'll be a good one. Tanahashi and Jay Lethal will take on the Briscoes. And SoCal Uncensored and The Kingdom will battle for the 6-man titles. So a lot of stuff announced with WrestleMania week just coming up in 2 weeks, man. Samoa Joe, trademarked by the WWE on March 9th. Joe has owned the trademark since 2007. What do you read into that, Matt?
Nothing. It was abandoned on March 16th.
Why did he abandon? Oh, what?
WWE abandoned the right to trademark it.
Did they kind of just placehold it for Joe to get it back, or?
Joe has it. I think WWE did it not knowing Joe already had it and abandoned the claim on it. I think it was probably just a mistake by their office. I definitely think that was a case of nothing to see here.
Unfortunately for Matt, John Cena won't be taking the Blues Clues job anytime soon. He apparently just dressed up as the host to announce the fact that the show is returning. So that doesn't mean that John will be taking a hiatus to host Blues Cruise. Booze. Did I say Booze Cruise? Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying anymore.
Blues Cruise. That's funny how Blues Cruise. Jesus Christ! I'm not even drinking tonight too. So hey. WWE caved into pressure, but the pressure was not from the WWE Universe. It was from Snickers. They dropped the...
Well, it was from Snickers because of the WWE Universe.
True, I guess indirectly. But Fabulous Moolah removed from the WrestleMania Battle Royal. Now it's just called the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. And Matt, I'm fine with that title anyways. So, hey, we don't need to put a name on it. But, I don't know, China would have been cool. But then again, I mean, so many people wanted China. But then it's like, she was a porn star, So that would have just been more headaches. So I think WWE did the right thing. WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Done. Thank you.
They should just say, look, if they're not going to name it after another woman this year, they should just call it Snickers Presents the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. And I'd make Snickers sponsor the match.
You're not getting a name when you're not hungry.
Oh, look, I'm just saying, like, I guarantee WWE already commissioned it and had that trophy made.
Oh, yeah.
So that trophy that they got built no longer being used. If I'm WWE, I'm like, Snickers, you want me to take it down? You're sponsoring the match.
Yeah. Vince will go broke over it too, right? Oh, he might go broke over something else I'm going to talk about later. Stephanie McMahon.
Broke over anything.
I know. That trophy's just going to sit in the back for Sean Mooney to talk about at Raw 35. So this would have been the trophy. Stephanie McMahon on the name change tweeted, "Thank you WWE Universe for using your voice What remains important is that the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal will be a historic match and is part of WWE's unwavering commitment to our women's division. Speaking of women's division, did you catch Empowered on the network?
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I loved all the background, the behind-the-scenes stuff from the Royal Rumble. It was really well done. Really enjoyed it. Of course, I mean, you can't go wrong with the 24 series. There hasn't been one that I hated so far. So, Matt, hopefully March 23 is the day we all, or maybe, I'm sorry, March 24th. Hopefully March 24th is the day where Nick Aldis finally loses the NWA World Heavyweight Championship as he faces Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, for House of Hardcore. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Ratings.
The NWA is as dead to me as it has been for the last, 15 plus years when it dropped its merger with TNA. The company's as dead as it ever was, and as long as Magnus is their champion, it will remain dead.
I'll tell a lot of people it was dead when Ted Turner purchased Jim Crockett. So
yeah, I'm being generous by adding in the
it was. I mean, it was
the NWA TNA run.
Yeah, I see that. Speaking of TNA or Impact Wrestling, they continued their solid ratings, 350,000 this week. Any idea? Is it Aries?
Is Aries what?
The overall better rating for Impact. What do you think it is? Is it a better product now? Is it Austin Aries being champion? Why is Impact suddenly kind of getting a boost in the ratings?
It's WrestleMania season. A rising tide raises all ships, and that's all it is.
Say ships. Say ships or shits.
You know what I said.
Oh, okay.
and honestly, that's all it is. Raw and SmackDown's ratings are up. So is everything else.
Raw.
People show an extra interest around WrestleMania season, and around the end of April, everything will taper off again.
Speaking of Raw, slight dip this week, 3.327. They only lost about 30,000 or 25,000 viewers from last week. But Matt, what was the key number in this week's Raw rating?
Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, they lost 400,000 viewers in hour 3. Well, motherfucker, they kept above 3 million, which is something that WWE said had been almost impossible to do other than a handful of times over the past 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So, to me, this was a massive success for WWE. And let's face it, hour 3 was not as good of an hour 3 as the week before's hour 3 was. And they still were able to hold over 3 million viewers because people wanted to see that match. So, to all the haters out there who didn't like it, well, too bad, because it was a success. And to the people who whined that it was a greatest hits compilation from TNA, that's exactly what it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't be a whole bunch of new stuff that we've never seen before, because this is the first introduction to WWE television. And trust me, WWE doesn't want to ever believe that you saw this stuff in TNA before you saw it with them.
And what's the
so they had to do a greatest hits to show you what this was all about.
And what's the common theme here? Matt created it, so it's not an Impact Wrestling thing. It's Matt, so it doesn't matter. If it was stuff that was seen in Impact, it was still Matt's creations. So, shut up. Fuck you. We're moving on. SmackDown Live, with obviously the news of Daniel Bryan. May not have traveled as fast yet, so I bet you they'll even get a bigger boost next week. But still, a very strong 2.888 million for SmackDown Live. I mean, going back, that's their best rating That's their best rating since the Tuesday after Mania. So in over a year. I mean, the Tuesday after Mania pulled in the 4 million or the 3 million. And they haven't even sniffed 2.7 million almost. let alone nearly 2.9. So I wonder.
It was very close to a 2.9.
And I wonder if it hits if it gets close to 3 next week. With now everybody knows, because I mean Daniel Bryan, this got announced in about 4 hours.
About 5 hours beforehand.
So yeah, we'll see. Rusev is trying to get a match at WrestleMania, and he says he wants a celebrity to fight him. The Rock said Kevin Hart, he'll put you over, but you got to kayfabe his STD. Oh, Rock, I don't know. Stephen Amell said, please stop suggesting me. I'm terrified of this person. But he got a challenge accepted. Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone, I'll take you on. Back alley brawl. So there you go. But then Rusev goes, I can't hit little Kevin McAllister or Richie Rich. Rusev is amazing. Oh, so the video that got released to prove Roman Reigns' steroid allegations. And Matt, was that the greatest 20 minutes of your life?
20 minutes of my life I'd like back.
Yeah, a big waste of time. What was the 20 minutes of?
Oh, dude, I don't even want to give this guy the time of day by talking about him. He gives the cartoon character he was named after a bad name.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio signs with Era Lucha, been given co-ownership, but the ownership aspect may be storyline, not sure. There's a lot of Rey updates here, though, so moving on. Rey, it's a marketing move, and but he'll be appearing with Era Lucha, and there's a WWE update even, as several sources have talked to Mike Johnson at PW Insider. This just broke a couple hours ago that Rey Mysterio is traveling to Birmingham, Alabama to have his partially torn bicep checked out in advance of potentially signing a WWE deal. So he's still advertised for Strong Style Evolved, which is this Sunday.
No, he's not.
Oh, okay. Why did they... Mike just said that an hour ago.
I'm telling you right now, as of this moment, as of 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the final card for Strong Style Evolve has been released from New Japan, and Jushin Thunder Liger will now be facing Will Ospreay. So there you go. Rey Mysterio out. New Japan not going to be there.
Are we gonna hear a deal tomorrow or at the end of the week here?
Not if that injury's serious.
True.
We're not gonna hear shit. You know, like if he goes down to Birmingham, Alabama, and they're like, "You need surgery and you're out 6 months," they ain't signing him.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be like, "No thanks, we're good." You know, he needs to go down there and actually get some good news. If he doesn't get good news, nothing's gonna happen. So.
Here you go, Matt. June 29th, Ring of Honor heads to Baltimore for Best in the World, one of the better, biggest pay-per-views of Ring of Honor. So I got to ask, are you going?
I'm pretty certain I'm going to be going. Yes. Gotta go to that, and gotta go to NXT next month. I'm going to be going to a lot of wrestling over the next couple of months.
Inducting the Dudleys into the Hall of Fame. None other than Edge and Christian, as we were hoping. So that's cool. Bubba, or Bully, made the offer, and Edge called in to Busted Open Radio and accepted. So obviously the ones that made sense for the Hardys or Edge and Christian are all for. And,
well, Bubba said to Edge he would like a moment at the Hall of Fame with him and Devon, Edge and Christian, and Matt and Jeff all up on the stage at the same time. So we'll see if we're going to get that, but that sounds like that's what he wants to have happen. And I'm hoping for him. That's what he gets. And damn it, dude, I'll tell you one thing. If you have Sirius XM and you're not listening to Busted Open Radio every day, you guys are missing out. A very entertaining product. I can't say enough good things about it. It's a very entertaining couple of hours. It's on demand, like if you can't listen to it live when it airs from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time, but they run daily Monday through Friday, and it's on demand. You can listen to it anytime if you have Sirius XM, and it's good, damn fun, entertaining pro wrestling discussion, and they take calls, and they have guests every day, and it's good shit, man. Busted Open is a very good radio show for pro wrestling. I'd highly recommend anybody that listens to us. If you don't listen to them and you have access to Sirius, you got to listen to Busted Open. It's good shit.
Then potentially the last inductee for the 2018 Hall of Fame. I'm not sure. I mean, this makes 8, so I would assume this might be the last one. But Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, former ECW and World Heavyweight Champions, will be inducted into the 2018 Hall of Fame class, as USA Today broke the story. Henry signed with the WWE in 1996. He competed in the Olympics, the Pan American Games, also the Arnold Classic as a weightlifter. Many things with him, the Nation of Domination, Sexual Chocolate, Mae Young giving birth to a hand. There you go. List goes on and on. And a lot of superstars were happy to see that Mark Henry was being inducted into the Hall of Fame, especially Braun Strowman. Strowman said, "Over the moon to find out Mark Henry is being inducted. Mark is the reason I'm a WWE superstar. I will be forever thankful and indebted to him, putting his name on the line to get me a look." Of course, both men have won the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic in the past. I believe Henry's in 1992 and Braun in 2012. Or actually, Mark might have been 2002 and 1992. I can't remember now. Braun won it in 2012. Kevin Owens also with a nice message too. Apparently, Mark was probably very helpful with his career. Mark currently working with the WWE as a producer as well, and Matt, I can't argue with that choice of putting Mark Henry into the Hall of Fame.
No, absolutely. He totally deserves to go into the Hall of Fame.
What was your favorite Mark Henry moment?
Oh, God. Honest to God, it's probably one that never was on TV. It was probably my own personal experience with Mark Henry.
Oh, yeah?
And I don't know if I've ever told you this story before, but it was one of the WrestleMania, it was one of the SummerSlams in Los Angeles, and for the life of me, I can't remember what SummerSlam year this was. But we were staying in the same hotel with the WWE talent.
That was the one I went to because he was in the lobby.
Yeah. Yeah, it might. Yeah, yes. It was the one you were at.
It was 2011 when Kevin Nash ran in on Punk and Alberto cashed in. Yes,
you're absolutely right. That is the one. Me and a friend were coming down in the elevator to the main lobby, and we were going to get snacks or whatever from the little local convenience store that was inside the lobby. That sold the drinks and the food and odds and ends or whatever. And ground floor hits, elevator dings, elevator doors open, and there stands in front of us Mark Henry, looking like he wants to break some motherfucker in half, with 2 chefs behind him. And me and my friend just looked like I about died. Because if you ever seen Mark Henry look angry on TV, he looked angrier at that moment when the elevator door opened. And we just kind of had to slink our way past Mark as he decided he was coming on that damn elevator with these chefs. I don't know what the fuck was going on. Clearly it was something about food, and you don't fuck with Mark Henry and his food. And literally, I just felt like I had a run-in with death with Mark Henry.
That's funny because
it was absolutely terrifying.
That's funny. Because
it's easily my favorite Mark. I have a bunch of favorite Mark Henry moments that everybody else would know, but I wanted to share that Mark Henry moment that not many other people have ever heard or experienced. That it makes me laugh every time I think about it.
So I was there, and that's where I met Matt, obviously, in 2011, and I saw Mark Henry probably 10 minutes before you did because he was at the hotel desk on the phone, pissed off. So.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, so oh shit, I didn't even know about that. So that's a connection to our story.
Yep.
Did you hear what he was complaining about?
Nah, I was probably 20 feet away. I didn't know.
I guarantee it was something about room service or something. Because he went. I told you, dude. When he was at that elevator, he had 2 chefs behind him that entered that elevator with him when me and my friend got off. So
yeah,
shit.
when he got off the phone, I go, hey Mark, love your work. He goes, thanks, man. But yeah, I knew he was upset, and so I just said that real quick, and
yeah.
And he acknowledged and didn't.
That's funny as hell, dude.
But yeah. I saw him probably 10, 20 minutes before you did then, because he was at the hotel desk on his phone at first, and then he was bitching at something about the hotel people. So yeah, so you just finished the story for me 7 years later.
That's fantastic.
Of why he was mad. Yeah, I didn't see chefs, so it may have been a half an hour. It may have been a while.
Yeah, dude, like legit, it was him and 2 chefs, like in like the white chef suits, like behind him. Like I had no idea what happened, but clearly it was something that came between Mark Henry and food, and clearly that's not a good idea.
Oh man, that's funny.
Because if you've listened to any of Busted Open in the last month of the days that Mark Henry hosts with Dave LaGreca, he makes it very clear about how much that man loves to eat. And there's been several occasions where I've thought of, like, man, I actually want to listen to the show live so I can call in and tell that story to him and see if I can get more of an insight.
Yeah.
And if he remembers that day.
I
wonder
if he even remembers that.
I know. I don't even know if he would.
Yeah.
But I'm seriously curious if it's something that he would remember, because it's something that I've never forgotten.
Yeah, because he was, I think, literally the first superstar I saw in person. I mean, you and I got to meet, Randy Orton, Zack Ryder, Alex Riley. This guy was in the hotel. I think R-Truth walked by us out while we were hanging out in the lobby, and but yeah, Mark Henry was the first guy I saw on this trip, and yeah, it was funny that we put those 2 stories together 7 years later after it happened. AJ Styles dealing with some injuries, so he's been kind of scaled back as of late. That's why he was just only on commentary for SmackDown Live, but he insists he'll be working WrestleMania, so don't worry, kids.
Yeah, like nothing's stopping that match from happening. Could the result of the match end up being changed as a result of this injury? Maybe. Maybe Nakamura wasn't going to win, but maybe he's going to win now. I mean, that's a distinct possibility. There's absolutely no way that AJ's missing this match.
I figured Nakamura was going to win no matter what, but
but maybe he wasn't. You don't know. Yeah, there's a chance that Styles was going to, get the win back from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if he's injured, depending on the level of seriousness of this injury, maybe Nakamura does beat him at WrestleMania, and AJ gets moved to Raw in the shake-up, and he gets reintroduced a couple months down the line when he's healed up from whatever this mystery injury is. Hopefully it's not that bad, though. I'm hoping that he doesn't miss any time at all, except for these couple weeks leading up to Mania. Don't let AJ Styles work a single wrestling match until WrestleMania.
No.
Let this guy have a freaking couple weeks off, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Mike Johnson, PNW Insider, confirmed with several sources that Big Cass was backstage in Dallas, Texas. So he tore his ACL in August, so that puts it at about 7 months, so he could be pretty close to coming back. And now a follow-up, just yesterday, Big Cass is telling people backstage he's been cleared. So, yeah, so we might be seeing him sometime shortly after Mania.
Yeah, probably the Raw after Mania if they wish to use him there.
What would you do with him upon his return?
They can do whatever they want with him now with Enzo gone.
He could be a babyface.
They could give him a complete reboot. They can do whatever they want with him. Like I don't know what you do with him. I would say if freaking him and Carmella didn't break up in real life, I'd say pair them back up together.
Yeah.
On the Raw brand after the shakeup, and she's got the briefcase and she could be a mouthpiece for him because he was never the best on promos anyway. And maybe that pairing could have worked as like a new duo, but I don't know if you really want those two to be working together, after they were in a relationship and, something happened with it,
Yeah.
It's rough. I'm not really sure where you put Cass when he comes back. Yeah, I'm much more interested in the fact that my boy Samoa Joe is backstage.
Yeah.
And I am hoping so bad.
Yep.
That Samoa Joe is Braun Strowman's tag partner at WrestleMania.
Yep. This ain't right away, but I'd say by the end of the year, I'd say have him feud with Strowman. I think that could be a good feud. Right away, trying to think of who he could beat up. If you bring him back as a good guy, you could have him feud with Elias right away, because Elias is pretty much bulletproof right now. So
yeah,
losing for him ain't gonna hurt. If you bring him back as a heel, I can't think of a babyface off the top of my head that could lose a feud right away. But of course, there's the shakeup. So I mean, anything can fucking happen there. So.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, if they move Carmelo to Raw, they might want to move Big Cass to SmackDown.
Could.
Hell, they didn't even have these two on the same brand when they were dating.
No.
So now that they're split up, they might want to just make sure that these guys aren't on the same show. And if they want to move, I feel like Carmelo to Raw, unless she cashes in and blows it at WrestleMania, if she still holds the briefcase after WrestleMania is done, I feel like they have to move Carmella to Raw, because she's not going to cash in and beat Asuka for the championship. It's not going to happen.
No.
She would have a greater likelihood of cashing in and beating Nia Jax than she would of cashing in and beating Asuka.
Which I think will happen. I think it's not going to happen at Mania. It may happen the Raw after Mania. It may not happen until May. The clock could be ticking. We could be having all these teases like we did this week, I think this was try number 2 that failed. We could be having these all the way up till Money in the Bank, where that clock is ticking. And that would be kind of a cool story. That hasn't really been a story ever, where they try so many times without actually getting an official cash in, and now they're up against that clock of the 365 days. I don't think they've ever done that with a men's Money in the Bank winner. They've had the briefcase for a long time, but they've never really stretched it out to where they're against the clock. So maybe that's a good storyline to do with Carmella, if you move her to Raw and have her keep the briefcase well into May. I think that's a good storyline.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible that's the route they're going to take.
Some Ultimate Deletion notes. Huge hit in terms of engaging the audience via social media. It was the number 1 worldwide trend hours after Raw, so that's good.
That's very good. WWE wishes they could have that weekly.
Yeah, no shit. Michael Hayes was the producer of the match. Jeremy Borash was involved. A lot of footage filmed by and edited by Rebecca Hardy herself. And she did the original music as well, and we'll go into depth on the match itself here later on. But for those who wondered why Michael Cole apologized for the match, that's because Vince thought it was going to flop, and so he called it. I can't remember the word he used.
Obnoxious.
Obnoxious. Yeah, Corey's like, what? Yeah. I think Corey knew that wasn't coming, or didn't know that was coming, and that was a real reaction from Graves there. Speaking of Graves, what's this with him?
I did not like that at all.
What's this with him and Taz? Anything? Or just?
Oh, dude, it's just from a throwaway line.
Are they fucking around?
That Taz had on Jericho's podcast, feeling that the color commentators in WWE should have more in-ring / world championship experience before stepping into the Keller role of the WWE commentary table.
Yeah.
And apparently Graves was mentioned by name by Jericho or whatever. And and then that's really all this where all this was. It's much ado about nothing. I really think this was blown way out of proportion. Graves already deleted the tweet. I think Graves acted out, when he shouldn't have, and I think it's,
And
I
Taz
think
called it. Taz called him insecure for that.
No, Taz called him out, and and they kind of got shut down after that. No, because Corey called Taz insecure.
Oh, okay.
And Taz quoted Corey said something like, "Insecure is a terrible color on you." At official Taz, you should have stuck to orange and black, or something along those lines, and Taz was like, something along the lines of, like, I'm not insecure, and I'm the happiest that I've been in in the last 3 years or whatever. My colors are always orange and black. It was something along those lines. Like, Corey deleted the tweet within overnight of when he put it up. So
I'm sure they talked behind the scenes or something. Odd thing, the Ultimate Deletion was not shown live in Dallas. Instead, they went with several dark segments. But hey, at least they did get to see Ronda Rousey toss Dana Brooke around, so that wasn't all that bad. And then Braun Strowman, I believe, wrestled Elias. But still weird that they did not show that in front of the live crowd, huh?
Well, another chance of Vince thinking it wasn't going to go well. I don't know the reasoning behind that. I think it was a major mistake. And I think it once again comes down to Vince not really knowing what his audience wants. So, guess I shouldn't really be surprised by that. But
no, you probably said that 100,000 times on the show. So, and Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy were backstage. Well, so out of nowhere, we're like, oh, hey, the XFL is back in 2020. Well, even more out of nowhere, like an RKO from Randy Orton. Another American Football League is debuting, and it's going to be a year before the XFL launches. Yes, February 2019, Charlie Ebersol, who happened to direct the XFL 30 for 30 special on ESPN, another funny twist in this. He is the son of Dick Ebersol, who, of course, had the partnership with Vince in the original XFL. Charlie Ebersol is starting the Alliance of American Football League, launching February 2019 on CBS Sports. Yes, as I mentioned, Ebersol directed the 30 for 30. Very crazy how that happened. That he had this probably setting up as he's directing this. The games will broadcast on CBS. It'll start 1 week after the Super Bowl. 8 leagues in the debut season. The season will end around the last week of April. A bunch of other things, interesting kind of things with the league. There are not going to be any kickoffs. And you're like, well, at all. There's not even going to be onside kicks. So what that means is the losing team is going to get the ball on their own 35-yard line instead of an onside kick. They're going to get the ball on their own 35-yard line in a 4th and 10 situation. So they basically have one play to get a first down and try to move the ball. But if they falter, the other team's basically in field goal range right away. There will only be 2-point conversions, no PATs, 30-second play clocks, no TV timeouts, 60% fewer commercials. And I bet you Vince is kind of steaming here, huh?
I'd be pretty fucking mad.
Yeah, especially considering it's the guy that directed the 30 for 30 special.
Yeah, I'd be pretty fucking mad. Honestly, I would.
So after the Super Bowl in 2020, we're going to have 2 football leagues.
Unless they merge before the XFL even happens.
That would be weird. And
if I'm Vince, I'm reaching out to Ebersol and being like,
hey,
what can we do to do a partnership? Because honestly, at this rate, it might be better for Vince to put his $100 million into this and maybe just own one of the 8 teams from this league instead of trying to overpopulate the football world right now. I think 3 football leagues by 2020. Like, if you're already counting, then you got the Arena Football League and you got the Canadian Football League, and
aren't there two arena leagues?
Oh man, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. It's an interesting idea because Vince doesn't have a TV deal right now.
Yeah, but I mean, even this, they don't really have a TV deal. It's going to be on CBS streaming apps. Like, the only games that are on CBS are going to be the opening game in whatever their quote-unquote Super Bowl is.
Oh, really? That's it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, like, every other game is just going to be aired on, like, a CBS, like, some streaming app or whatever. Like, the same thing that they're airing.
They have their own service, so CBS All Access.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something. Yeah, along those lines, something like that.
Oh, to me, what I was reading, it sounded like everything was going to be on CBS, but
nope. Well, it's all on CBS, but as far as being on TV, it's just the opening week and whatever the fuck they call their version of the Super Bowl is the only things that are actually going to air on network CBS television. Everything else is going to be on the app.
Speaking of streaming services, it appears every wrestling company is getting on board with this now. All Japan Pro Wrestling has a streaming service now available for sign-up if you go to ajpw.tv. And Dragon Gate announced they will be launching the Dragon Gate network on April 1st. 2 separate tiers, 9.99 yen a month for light users, which is 9.39. That gives access to the video library. And then a 1,500 yen option, or $14.10 in the U.S. that'll feature live events with on-demand viewing. So everybody's getting a streaming service, which is not bad. I mean, it helps with the people that probably couldn't watch the product that are maybe interested in the product. Gives them a chance to watch it, so that's cool. Congratulations to Zack Sabre Jr. He defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi to win the New Japan Cup. He will get to challenge Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Genesis on April 1st. They're definitely putting the rocket to Zack Sabre, kind of like they did with Will Ospreay. I think ever since they kind of put him in Suzuki-gun, it's kind of been the story there. So congrats to Sabre. Him and Okada will probably tear it down at Genesis. I still think Omega takes that title from him in June, Matt.
One can only hope.
Finally, WWE announces something cool, and we're like, put it on the fucking network. And guess what? They are going to put it on the fucking network. The greatest Royal Rumble that we announced last week that's going to broadcast from Saudi Arabia is going to broadcast on the network, on the WWE network. It's going to feature 7 championship matches. It's going to have a 50-man... it says 50 competitor Royal Rumble, so maybe there'll be some women in there too. Nia Jax will...
No women on the show.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, yeah, good point. So, yeah, a lot of people are thinking this might be better than WrestleMania, Matt. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's going to be better than WrestleMania, but I think it's going to be a fun show. And I'm looking forward to see what it means. I hope there's something on the line for this Royal Rumble. Like, I don't want a 50-man Royal Rumble where the winner gets nothing, or the winner gets some stupid trophy or a quote-unquote cash prize. I want this Royal Rumble. If you're going to be doing a Rumble and you're going to name it the Royal Rumble, I want them to actually do something with it.
And when is the place? Oh, April. So
like April 27th.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, title shot at Money in the Bank, maybe, or yeah, I don't know. It's hard telling what they could do with that, but yeah, I agree. Hopefully they do that. And also announced is Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross will be announcing this event on April 27th. So very cool.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, they were on last on WWE television together for Raw 25. And WWE is looking to pull out all the stops for this, so it'll be interesting to see this play out. HBO released the poster for the Andre the Giant documentary, and that gives us the time. It's going to be April 10th at 10 p.m., so right after SmackDown Live is when the Andre the Giant documentary will air, so I can't wait to see that. 205 Live this week. We set the finals up for WrestleMania, but first, Lince Dorado took on Hideo Itami. This ended in disqualification as Itami and Tozawa continued to feud with the Luchas. Second match of the evening was T.J. Perkins against Kenneth Johnson. If you thought Kenneth Johnson looked familiar, yes, he was in the first in the Cruiserweight Classic, lost in the first round. T.J. Perkins taps him out with a knee bar. And then the main event, Drew Gulak, Mustafa Ali, winner goes to WrestleMania, and Matt, these guys just completely tore the house down, didn't they?
It was a great match, man. We're to get nothing but great matches on 205 Live right now anyway.
And what happened for that to change? Bye, Vince.
Thanks, Trips.
Thanks, Trips. Surprised, though. Mustafa Ali moves on. I was surprised. I think you were surprised, too, weren't you?
Not 100% surprised based on the amount of promo work they've let Ali do over the past couple weeks. It definitely goes away from WWE's normal, face heel mentality for tournaments of like this nature. But I welcome it, and I think it makes the winner of this match a little bit more unpredictable.
Yeah, definitely. I can see either guy. Well, we were saying we can see any of the four guys winning. So, Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander are locked in for WrestleMania. Mixed match challenge, and Matt, our last round suspicions were confirmed when they thought that, or they played it off where Asuka's streak would be broken even if Miz got pinned, and so we know who's winning the mixed match challenge now, don't we?
Yeah, it's pretty damn clear.
Yeah, especially with Strowman and Bliss's Connor's Cure not getting the win. But Asuka got the Asuka lock on Alexa. Kind of a tagging in rodeo to start off the match, which was kind of funny. Because obviously Miz doesn't want to face Strowman. He doesn't want to get these hands. And we got more of the love teasing between Strowman and Alexa, didn't we, Matt?
A little bit.
Miz the cock blocker. They were getting ready to kiss, and Miz decided to attack Braun from behind, and that was not a smart move there, Miz. But Asuka and Miz move on. They will take on the winners of the Road Warriors in the fan vote. The fan vote was, unfortunately, not rose gold. It was Finn Balor, Sasha Banks, but that doesn't surprise us either, does it, Matt?
No, it doesn't surprise me, but it doesn't mean I have to be happy about it.
True. Impact Wrestling, Sami Callihan took on Fallah Bahh, and he got the win there. Kind of odd pairing there, not sure. Matt Sydal says he's going to introduce his spiritual mentor tonight, and then Austin Aries set to have a sit-down interview with McKenzie.
This is just fucking awful. When
Alberto El Patron interrupts, it's like I thought Alberto was drunk here. He kind of seemed drunk, but the whole thing, which was in one word, was still Coach's gimmick here. One word to describe this: awkward. As Alberto consistently tries to make Austin Aries, who's a vegan, eat a big ass steak. I'll say this, Matt. You told me about what happened here on Thursday as it happened. You watched it live. I didn't watch it live. And I was fully expecting Alberto to try to shove Aries' face in the steak, and I'm glad they didn't go that far at least. But yeah, it was a little awkward, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. They leave it to Impact to take. Finally put something on their TV that I'm going to go ugh at. It'd be a pre-tape segment that they could have not fucked up.
Yeah. Allie backstage when Kiera Hogan congratulates her on her title win. Her former on-screen lover and real-life husband, Braxton Sutter, comes in and wants to talk to her, but she's like, screw you, buddy. As, of course, Braxton has kind of turned heel, and Allie doesn't want any of him. In a storyline that drug out forever and really wasn't filled with any memorable moments, except for actually there wasn't really any memorable moments. At least we got the payoff, and I enjoyed the payoff. Jimmy Jacobs and Congo Kong, they demand Abyss to come back, and lo and behold, who comes out but Father James Mitchell. And that man can cut a fucking promo. I enjoyed the interactions with Father James and Jimmy Jacobs. I thought it was awesome. And, of course, Abyss comes back out. Father James thanks Jimmy for bringing his son back to him. And they announced that there will be a Monsters Ball next week between Congo Kong and Abyss. Matt, what did you think of that whole segment?
I like James Mitchell, but I could care less about this whole storyline. You know how I feel about Captain Man Bra.
Captain Man Titties.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to care.
Yeah, James
about
Mitchell,
this at all.
James Mitchell is badass.
No, James Mitchell's great, but I mean, not even James Mitchell can save this storyline.
Yeah, like I said, it's the only thing in the whole storyline that I've enjoyed so far, outside of Jimmy Jacobs just being awesome. But speaking of awesome, Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie, and these guys had a hell of a match, and thank God it didn't have a finish, because I didn't want this feud to end anytime soon. It ended in a double countout. They brawl up the ramp after the match, and once again, Taya gets the advantage by hitting the Road to Valhalla on the stage for a second week in a row. Great knockouts feud. Right now, this is the kind of stuff that can get that knockouts division back on track. Matt, you agree?
Oh yeah, I thought the match was really good. These two work really well together. As long as they have a long-term plan with these two, I think it'll be good for that division going forward.
Yeah, as long as they don't tape in Canada anymore.
Yeah, here they are before the summer's over, so...
Dummy! Yeah!
Yep.
Speaking of that, it's time to talk about Eli Drake. He's on the phone with Chris Adonis, and he was getting Chris Adonis into the Feast or Fired match, but Chris says, I don't want to get fired. And Eli says, well, you know what? I'm firing you dummy. Yeah. You're fired, yeah. I really hope he gets one more run with the WWE. I really think he could do something well. Finally get a decent push. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But I think it'd be cool to at least see. But of course, we know, as we know, Chris Adonis left the company, so that was the way of him exiting was with that. In the control room with Josh and Sanjay, they announced that Austin Aries will take on Alberto El Patron in the main event of Redemption. Oh, look, Impact's actually going to have a pay-per-view, Matt, April 22nd.
Too bad nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be on Twitch.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
It may end up on Twitch eventually. Bobby Lashley has a word with Brian Cage, and Brian didn't want to hear any of it. More to come on that in the coming weeks. LAX with a segment talking about how Homicide tries to screw Conan out of money. Something like that. I don't know. Matt Sydal comes to the ring. He's a double champion now, X Division Grand Champion. Thanks to fans for supporting him. But he wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for his spiritual advisor. And lo and behold, it's Josh Matthews. And the crowd went, oh, dude. I don't know if you were looking closely, Matt. But when Josh gets into the ring, you could see a couple people full frame in the camera behind in the crowd. As Josh is getting in the ring, there's this younger guy, and he is just letting out the biggest fucking yawn of all time.
Yeah, I don't think I noticed that, but it's appropriate.
I thought Josh did okay with the promo, considering he's a douche and an asshole in real life. Hey, might as well play one on TV, right? So there you go. And Sydal awards Josh with the Grand Championship. Okay. Hey, Josh, you're finally a champion in pro wrestling. How about that? Your best moment will still be when Brock Lesnar tossed you 85 feet backstage.
Well, you're not wrong.
No. Feast or Fired. Your competitors, Moose, Eli, Drake, Petey Williams, Trevor Lee, Caleb Conley, Tyrus, KM, Taji Ishimori, EC3, and Rohit Raju. And the four guys that get the briefcases, Moose, Petey Williams, Ethan Carter III, and Eli Drake. Gee, Matt, who's getting fired?
Nobody.
Oh, there's no pink slip this year? Okay.
Everybody gets to stay. Swerve!
Whoops. Oh no. Maybe because there might be someone at NXT right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just waiting to be featured on television on NXT, but got to wait for him to get out of Impact first. Well, at least he'll be out of Impact next week. NXT this week. Tommaso Ciampa, no music, makes his way out into the crowd, and holy shit, he's doing a pretty damn good job of getting heat on him from the crowd, isn't he?
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
They fucking hate Ciampa, so job well done. He finally got to talk and yells that he's gone. Newsflash, he ain't walking down that damn aisle. He's gone. Crowd starts chanting, Ciampa sucks. And Ciampa taunts some fans. He even gets in a grandma's face, which was funny. She just stared at him as he's tearing up all the Gargano emoji signs. That was hilarious when he got in grandma's face, though. Oh, wait, there's somebody in the crowd. Whoa, it's Johnny Gargano in disguise. And he attacks Ciampa. They go into the ring, but security quick to pull them away and escort Gargano out of the building. Very hot, awesome segment to start NXT, right, Matt?
Oh, I don't think you could have started off NXT any better tonight. The only thing I wish they would have followed up on it, because we did see Regal later on in the night, and the only thing he did was to tease for the new championship next week. Mm-hmm. I wish they would have done a follow up on, the Gargano Ciampa situation.
And hey, look, Gargano tweeted a couple hours ago. Poster board, $2. Ticket, $25. Finally punching Ciampa in the face after 10 months? Priceless. This is only the beginning, I promise. I cannot wait for that takeover match, man. That's going to be amazing. They go to the Dusty Rhodes Classic control room, where Charlie Caruso lets us know that Mustache Mountain cannot compete due to an injury to Tyler Bate. Is this the legit injury or just a... I never heard him actually getting hurt.
It could be an injury. I mean, we don't know. But it might be a storyline injury. I honestly don't know either way.
So, we're trying to figure out who will face Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. One of them is going to be Roddy Strong. Roddy went up to William Regal and asked to be a part of the Dusty Classic, and Regal said he's been a model talent, has done everything that Regal has asked of him. Pick a tag partner and you can compete. And so Adam Cole next up, cutting a promo with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, and making fun of Roddy Strong for basically begging his way into the Dusty Classic. He isn't even a tag team guy. And says, doesn't matter who wins the Dusty Classic, you'll face the baddest team on the planet. Unfortunately, Bobby Fish is hurt. And then he talks about Cassius Ohno being a walk in the park tonight. And even told Bobby and Kyle to stay behind. I got this. So there you go. Setting up the main event for NXT. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch took on Roddy Strong, and lo and behold, his tag partner is Pete Dunne. Now, if they go on and win the Dusty Classic, Matt, can Pete Dunne hold 2 belts in his mouth? That
probably not in his mouth, but I mean, he could definitely hold 2 titles if he wants to.
That would be that takes some jaw strength right there. How good did Roddy and Pete look as a team? I think this is a great story. These guys were beating the shit out of each other for the UK title. Now, they both kind of ran into the Undisputed Era. I think they're winning the Dusty Classic now, Matt. I think it's all coming together. The whole backstage with the Undisputed Era, now that he is the partner for Roddy, I think that's what we're heading for. Do you agree?
I think it heavily depends on who O'Reilly's tag partner is going to be.
Yeah, Dijak would be great.
I don't see them allowing Adam Cole to pull double duty.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how that's going to be handled. Like if he's going to be, is he in the tag match? Is he in the North American title match? Is he in just one or the other? Is he in both? Like what are they doing? Where does Adam Cole end up at TakeOver? Which I think will then very heavily change my opinion on what's going to happen in these matches.
But Adam Cole could do double duty, though. I mean, he's a guy that could do that, right? I think so.
I don't think it's a good idea. And one of them is a ladder match, and one of them is a three-way fucking tag team mayhem craziness. He's not going to be 100% going into one of these matches. To me, he shouldn't be doing double duty. I mean, unless him and O'Reilly are going to win the tag titles, and then they allow them to explain that's why he didn't win the ladder match. He can also explain what order the card's going to go in. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I got a crazy idea. Just so crazy that it might work. Probably not, because it's too crazy, but... So, we all know by the time this match happens, say Dunn and Strong win the Dusty Classic. We know Fish is injured, so Kyle O'Reilly say, I got a partner, don't you worry about it. So he doesn't even announce it until the match happens. So we got the tag team title match. Roddy turns on Dunn. Roddy joins the Undisputed Era. Roddy and O'Reilly are the tag champs. Yeah. Speaking of Aaliyah, Matt's favorite wrestler, right? Nope. Not. She took on Ember Moon. Ember Moon dispatched her rather quickly with Shayna Baszler on commentary. Raul Mendoza made his way out to a match, but Andre Cien Almas launched him off the ramp and tried to call out Aleister Black, but he's not there. But he'll be here next week. Do a video package with Lars Sullivan. William Regal in the office saying he's finalizing details for an announcement next week that'll change the landscape of NXT forever. Matt just touched upon that. And then we get ourselves Adam Cole, Bebe, Cassius Ohno. Matt, hell of a main event right here, wasn't it?
Hard hitting is all what?
Oh my God!
They didn't leave anything anything out of this match. This was everything I would have expected an Ohno Cole match to be.
Yep. Brilliant stuff there. Adam Cole getting the win after hitting his last shot for the 3 count. But, some of those kicks that Ohno does just look so fucking brutal. Raw is live in Dallas, Texas. Kurt Angle kicks off the show and says that Roman Reigns' suspension is still in effect. He will not be there tonight. Lesnar has not arrived yet, but he's been assured by Vince that he will be there. Then he talks about Braun Strowman winning the Tag Team Battle Royal. He says the decision will stand, but he has to find a partner. Samoa Joe. Roman Reigns comes out through the crowd. No entrance because, he's suspended, so he can't get an entrance. Angle said, you're suspended and you're trespassing. Okay. Reigns says, I don't care. Somebody has to be here to represent the main event at WrestleMania. Yeah, exactly. And then U.S. Marshals, as I use air quotes on a podcast, came and arrested Reigns, and they're putting their hands on him as he's exiting the ring. And he says, "Don't touch me. I can get out of the ring myself." And they put their hands on him again, and so Reigns goes nuts and beats up all 3 U.S. Marshals, in air quotes. And then, look, here comes Brock Lesnar while Roman's in handcuffs. I thought that was perfect timing for Brock to be a dick and attack Roman while he's vulnerable. I thought that was kind of well done. Did you like it?
Honestly, no, I didn't. I didn't like it at all.
Why
I I felt they took a couple steps back with Roman Reigns this week, and I feel they gave the crowd every reason they wanted to boo him all over again. I thought this entire storyline was played out very poorly, and WWE has nobody to blame but themselves for a very poor misstep this week. If you wanted to incorporate all the elements that you incorporated, but you wished to get a babyface reaction for Roman Reigns, the best way you could have done this is have Brock and Heyman in the ring, and then Roman come out from the crowd and attack Brock from behind, and the storyline is Roman's still suspended, he's not supposed to be here, and you have Kurt come out with the U.S. Marshals to take down Roman. So while Brock and Heyman go to hightail it from Roman, the U.S. Marshals are able to tackle Roman and put him in cuffs. And then when Roman's in cuffs, Brock says, "Oh, look, Roman's in cuffs now," and then goes back to the ring and beats the shit out of him like a little bitch. Because I got my ass beat when you jumped me in the ring from the crowd, but now that you're in handcuffs, I'm going to beat your ass. That would have made Brock look like a coward. It would have made Roman look like a badass. And it would have been done with all these same elements, but just done in a proper way without making the entire situation look bad.
Okay. Well, I still thought it made Brock look like a coward, and so I liked the timing. I liked the timing of it, and props to props to Reigns for taking those suplexes while in cuffs, because his hands were bleeding by the end of that segment. That probably didn't feel good. But yeah, that's how Raw started off, and they put Reigns in a stretcher, and guess what? Here comes Lesnar again. The problem is Lesnar kept coming back and attacking Reigns while he's defenseless. This kind of mirrors a little rise of somebody that the WWE Universe started to like, right?
Yeah, but like I said, they didn't do it right.
I mean, they're doing exactly what made Strowman get pops, and so why would they do that with Brock? If I don't.
I was told that the Brock coming out again and tipping the stretcher over was a Brock Lesnar call.
Oh, okay.
I was told that was not in the script, and that was a spur of the moment plan, and they decided to go with it, and that was not originally part of the opening segment. So I think Brock being overzealous kind of fucks shit up for them in the same process.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it, so I didn't think it took a step back. I thought it took a step forward, but agree to disagree. I don't argue with your way you would have done it either. So Bliss in the ring with Mickie James, and once again making it sound like she's sorry, but just kidding. She's not sorry about what she said about Nia Jax, and called her a pathetic loser. So there you go, getting some real heat on her, which makes I think the pop for Nia's title win even that more special at WrestleMania. I think they're doing a good job with that. Bliss took on Asuka, went about 11 minutes. What'd you think about these ladies here, Matt?
It was alright. Like, honestly, after seeing the match on Monday, I'm really glad these two aren't facing each other at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it wasn't a special
like
match.
I wasn't really thrilled with this one. So
after the match, Nia's music hit, and she chased down Mickie James and clotheslined her. Grabbed Bliss, but Bliss went over the barricade. James tried to attack her from behind. Bliss gets away, but Mickie did not get away. She got the wrath of Nia Jax. Good reaction for Jax. So whatever they were planning, everything they're doing to get a reaction, a good reaction for Nia Jax is working. So good stuff there. Kurt Angle's in his office. Alexa shows up saying that Jax should be suspended or arrested, Angle said, we've had enough rest for one night, and you should be a role model, not a bully, considering you're the champion. Guess what? You're going to face Jax for the title at WrestleMania. Boo-hoo. Braun Strowman comes out to a big ovation. He brags about winning the Tag Team Battle Royal last week, and he's going to WrestleMania. Talks about how management told him he needs a partner. He doesn't think he needs a partner. He could beat the Bar by himself. That prompts the Bar to come out and brag how they're the greatest tag team of all time. And it takes months to be a good tag team. You have to train together, eat together, work together, sleep together. Whoops! Cesaro.
He's so funny.
I like Strowman's reaction even better when he said sleep together. Strowman's like, what? Anyways, this all led to Braun Strowman and Cesaro. Well, we didn't get the reveal yet, Matt. So hopefully our wishes come true. But I honestly am not holding my breath for Joe and Strowman. Maybe that'll help it happen. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm just not holding my breath that they're going to do what we really want to happen. Matt, what do you think?
I don't want to see Elias and Braun Strowman.
Me either.
Just based on his last feud, it doesn't make any sense. There's no mutual respect for between Braun Strowman and Elias after their feud. Like, it's not like they shook hands afterwards, like, you're a pretty tough guy, ha ha ha. You know,
these guys didn't shake hands, but Roddy Strong and Pete Dunne, that's a whole different situation.
The only way Elias would have made sense is if they would have been like, if they did something like, Kurt's like, well, you're gonna need a partner, and Braun's like, I don't want a partner. Kurt's like, well, I'm gonna assign you one, and he assigns Elias. Or they did something like, it was Strowman versus Sheamus, and if Sheamus wins, Sheamus and Cesaro get to pick who Braun's partner is at WrestleMania, and they pick Elias. Like that, then that's the only way it makes sense. Like, it doesn't make any logical sense for Braun Strowman to choose the team with Elias after a month of beating his ass. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep, I agree. Braun Strowman defeats Cesaro after 9 minutes. Pretty solid match there, I thought. They showed the first of a couple clips of Matt Hardy in his home with Queen Rebecca, King Maxwell, and Lord Wolfgang, and Senor Benjamin. And we got the words we've been wanting to hear, Matt. Senor Benjamin, prepare the battlefield for annihilation.
Yes.
It's so good that the family's on TV, man. I love it.
Long overdue, man.
The Revival beat Titus Worldwide in 4 minutes, like they should. They announced that they're going to be the first entrants into the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. They'll be the first tag team to ever win it. This is where you could have put Elias in it and win it, because it's meaning a bigger deal.
Yeah, Elias can be in the Battle Royal. I don't see anything wrong with that. He could win it for all I fucking care. You know, I just don't want to see him teaming with Braun. And I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Nope, it ain't. Well, for us it ain't, but however, they didn't show the Mark Henry announcement video package, and they also hype up the WWE 24 Empowered documentary that aired right after Raw. Good stuff there. The continuation of Sasha and Bayley. This just does not feel like the feud it should be, does it?
Well, since they've relegated it to the Battle Royal, does it really matter anymore?
Good point.
And we all thought they were actually going to get a match, and now it's like, oh, Sasha's declared for the Battle Royal, so clearly that means we're not getting a match, so it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, good point. To me, the moment was there, and now it's gone. So, I went from really caring about what they were going to do with those two to now I'm like, I don't give a damn at all. Like, really, I feel like it's going to come down to one of those two are going to win the Battle Royal, and the other one's going to throw the other one out to do it. Yep. And I don't know, dude. I really wanted these two to actually get to showcase what they could do at WrestleMania this year, and clearly that's not what they're going to do. So,
well, Matt, maybe in a year or two time, maybe these guys have the feud that we want, and maybe they main event WrestleMania, because that's the last check mark left for the women is to main event WrestleMania. So maybe, just maybe, that could be done well enough to main event WrestleMania someday. So we'll see on that. But Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose defeat Banks and Bayley after 10 minutes, and they were arguing over a blind tag, which led to Bayley getting knocked into Banks, and then Bayley taking the pinfall. John Cena shows up to call out The Undertaker, and I was not feeling John Cena's promo this week, Matt.
It was possibly even worse than the one the week before.
I didn't mind the week before. This one was dumb. I don't know about dumb.
Then I guess we'd have to go. Then I guess we would have to agree on the fact that it was worse than the week before. Well, if you didn't mind last week's and you didn't like this week's, then clearly by logic dictates this has to be worse than the one he did last week.
You are correct, sir. No Undertaker. Oh my God, I was like, oh, are we getting American Badass? Are we getting it? No, we get Kane. Maybe next week we get it. Well, there's only 2 more Raws before WrestleMania. We probably ain't getting it till the go home show, are we, Matt?
I burn him out next week, or at least have him on the fucking Tron or something.
Kane came out, and there's you can't do a Tron. If you're doing American Badass, you got to play Kid Rock, and he shows up driving it from the bike down. And Cena is expecting the dead man.
You have Taker on the Tron as the badass. You don't need to see the bike till Mania.
Okay.
And honest to God, I think that's the way they should do it. I don't think he should come out on the bike until New Orleans.
Okay. How about you play American Badass, and Cena has a shit, like the oh shit look on his face because he was expecting somebody else. Kane came out, choke slammed Cena, so it sets up a match for those two next week. They replay Brock beating up Reigns because they like to replay things. They show another clip of Matt Hardy at the Hardy compound. He's talking to his good friend George Washington. I love George Washington. George Washington, you're such a jokester. Give Rebecca back her hat. He was getting advice from George Washington to how to delete Bray Wyatt. Next up is 6-man tag action, but first The Miz cutting a promo with the Miztourage in the ring with him, and he talked about Seth Rollins and Finn Balor by their indie names, Tyler Black and Prince Devitt. Whoops, it's Prince Devitt, Miz, but oh well.
Yeah, that got some good jokes online.
I bet it did.
Even Finn commented on it after Raw was over.
6-man tag match, Balor Club, Miztourage, went about 11 minutes with the good guys, the Good Brothers, getting the win. They show a video package of Ronda Rousey, and I thought this was really well done, Matt, and probably something that could help just get people to know her and stuff.
Anybody. This would help anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of the point I was trying to make on Monday. This was an excellent video package for not just Ronda, but for any talent in the WWE. People want to feel a more of an emotional connection to the talents that we're supposed to care about. Doing video packages like this for people on your roster that you're trying to push and trying to get over is an excellent idea. These should be done more often. This should not just be like a once in a while thing. These type of video packages, they work because they've shown them what they work in NXT. They do packages like this in the UFC to make you care about the fighter before they walk to the octagon. These kind of things need to become more of the norm in the WWE, so people actually care about the superstars that they're supposed to care about. Maybe they should do one on Roman Reigns.
You think that'll help?
It couldn't hurt.
Yeah, good point. Oh, it's the time. It's time. It's time for the ultimate Deletion. And good start as Bray is approaching the gates to the House Hardy. And Vanguard 1 shows up and projects a hologram of Matt Hardy to say, "Follow the music." And Matt, I instantly was thrilled to see the hologram because that told me, oh, this is going to probably go the way I want it to go. I don't know if you thought about that, but that was my thought right when I saw the hologram.
I wanted to know that this was truly a visionary project of Matt Hardy and Jeremy Borash.
Yep.
I did not wish to see WWE's fingerprints all over it, and seeing Matt, teleport his head out of Vanguard 1, a la the first final deletion with Jeff, did make me feel a little bit better. I'm like, okay, we're going to get what we're looking for here. Mm-hmm. And this is exactly what I was looking for. Like I said earlier, for the people that were complaining about this was a broken Matt Hardy's greatest hits, a lot of WWE's audience have never seen the final deletion before or anything from TNA. They needed to be introduced this way. This is how it had to happen. So I was happy that this ran the way that it did, and I couldn't be happier with how it ended up and how the ratings turned out, and seemingly the response online, from people that aren't fucking idiots, was very positive. So, yeah, I thought it was great.
Rebby Hardy playing the piano at ringside. The cool part about that, she was playing Bray Wyatt's theme as he was approaching the ring. That was, again, a badass touch. The fight begins. Bray Wyatt kind of getting an upper hand to start. So Matt Hardy calls on Vanguard 1, and Matt, we get another staple of the Deletion series, the fireworks. They've been used as defense mechanisms, weapons, and this time a distraction for Matt to get the upper hand. So again, cool that they added that. The fight then spilled to the outside of the ring, where Matt recreated the Wyatt household. That was an unexpected twist in it, wasn't it, Matt?
It was unexpected, but I liked it.
I did too.
I feel like this was something that Matt would have come up with. I don't feel like this was an idea that WWE forced upon them, and I thought it helped connect the two characters together.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a problem with it at all. I thought that was a welcome addition. For the people who complained it was all the greatest hits, that was something new that we hadn't seen before.
Exactly. At first, Bray Wyatt was overcome with joy, but then he got flashbacks of Orton burning it down, and it turned into agony. It was really well done. And then they head to the land of obsolete men. And this was fucking hilarious. Matt, you know the cartoon, the Bugs Bunny cartoon?
Yeah, this had Bugs Bunny and Scooby-Doo written all over it.
Where they're like in a hotel and there's a bunch of rooms and Bugs they keep Elmer's chasing him and he pokes out of one room. And it reminded me of a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It was so fucking funny.
Dude, it was great. And it made me laugh. And honestly, I don't know what to tell the people that didn't enjoy this. I think you take your pro wrestling a little too seriously.
Yeah.
And we do take our pro wrestling seriously here on Lost in the Midcard. But when something is purposely telling you we are trying to entertain you here, we're trying to make you laugh and try to make you have a good time, let yourself have a good time. There's a time for super serial. And there's a time for, to have some fun. And the broken slash woken Matt Hardy character is all about fun and magic and things that you normally wouldn't see on a pro wrestling program, and that's part of what makes it so great.
From there, they head to another familiar sight that debuted at Total Nonstop Deletion when the entire show was at the Hardy compound. The Dome of Deletion! And Bray Wyatt had bashed Matt's head into the door, and the door opened up to unveil the Dome of Deletion. Of course, it held Tag Team Apocalypto. It also held King Maxwell's first win in professional wrestling when he defeated Rockstar Spud.
Drake Maverick.
So inside the Dome of the Deletion, they fight around the grand piano. Bray Wyatt tried to do a Uranagi. That would have hurt like hell, I bet. But Matt was able to reverse it and get the upper hand. And then there was a question that Matt had on his mind. Mower of lawns or chair with wheels? Mower of lawns? Another one of those funny moments when Matt just went back and forth. Almost obnoxiously excessive, kind of like a Peter Griffin moment in Family Guy.
Don't use the word obnoxious.
Yeah, thanks, Michael and Vince. But he chose the mower of lawns and used his familiar pose when he was destroying Jeff Hardy's lawn. But he was going to run over Bray. But Bray's spider walk stopped the mower cold. Another one of those funny moments, you know. Obviously, you're suspending real belief here. I thought it was funny that the spider walk stopped his lawnmower. I don't know what Bray. You know how he kind of held Matt's head on the top of the mower. I don't know if they were trying to play it off where the engine was and it was hot and they were trying to burn his face. I don't know. I kind of thought that's what they were playing off of, but I don't know. It was hard to tell on that part.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So after the Dome of Deletion, the fight spills out to another familiar place at the Hardy compound, the Lake of Reincarnation. We all know all about the Lake of Reincarnation. Tag Team Apocalypto, when Hurricane Helms, Shane Helms got kicked into it and he came out as the Hurricane. One of the funnier moments. So they fight, and they head to Skarsgård. And Bray notices, wait a minute, the boat was not upside down when we got here. Matt must be hiding under the boat. He flips open the boat, and there's Senor Benjamin holding a mini globe. He tosses the globe to Bray Wyatt as he sings, he's got the whole world in his hands. That was another great moment, Matt. I fucking loved that cameo by Senor Benjamin in the fight. But that's not all. As Senor Benjamin is singing, who else shows up?
Brother Nero! I knew you'd come.
And Brother Nero is singing as well, and that made Bray turn around to strike him, but he was not there anymore. And that enabled Matt Hardy to hit the twist of fate and get the 1, 2, 3 as Matt Hardy wins Ultimate Deletion. Bray Wyatt says this is the Great War is not over yet. Matt disagreed and took a kendo stick and cross-checked Wyatt into the Lake of Reincarnation. And Matt goes, Senor Benjamin, come here post-haste. Come retrieve Bray Wyatt from the Lake of Reincarnation. Senor Benjamin goes in, and Bray's nowhere to be found. So, Matt, we get a cliffhanger from the Ultimate Deletion. I loved it. I loved how we got a cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah, and some people are like, well, they didn't do anything with Bray. Like, they did everything with Bray. Bray is now, they have the ability, like, they could either do it now, they could either start this Monday on Raw, or they could wait until the Raw after WrestleMania. They can now fully reboot the Bray Wyatt character into whatever they want it to be.
I think I know what they're going to do with Bray. I think they're going to go back to the happy-go-lucky Hawaiian shirt fedora guy. I think they're going to go back to that lighter side. The dark side came out of him in the lake. I think they're going to go back to the lighter side. So that's just my guess. No, Husky Harris is not coming back.
No, they're not doing Husky Harris.
No. I think it's going to be that Cape Fear kind of it's going back to that guy. It's just my guess. But who knows? That's the great thing. We don't know.
Yep, we really don't know.
And it was everything we could hope for, wasn't it? It was just amazing.
Like I said, to me, it was the perfect introduction of a match like this to the WWE audience who has never seen the other ones before. I think the people who have seen the previous three and expected more were left disappointed, and I say to those people, you should know by now how WWE operates, and you should have expected that this was going to be the way that this was going to happen. And it's a bummer that some people are left disappointed. Some people were left disappointed.
You were not going to make everybody happy. You were not even going to make half the people happy. I would say. I'd say more than half, because 3 million tuned in. It was still trending, so I think that job got well done. So I don't know. I honestly think it was a rousing success, and the ratings proved it. I don't know if Vince is going to see it that way, but who knows? It's hard to ignore that they got 3 million again in the third hour, and Vince is looking at that.
And like I said, that third hour overall was a hell of a lot weaker than
the week before. Yeah.
Than what we got the week before.
Yeah, agreed. SmackDown Live taking place this week from I believe they're in Dallas again. I think they went back to back with the American Airlines. Don't quote me on that, but as we all know, Daniel Bryan kicks off the show, and Matt, this was just truly amazing, emotional. Those are basically the two words to describe that open, isn't it?
I would say so.
Yeah, they gave Bryan the floor, gave him time to talk. He got 12 to 15 minutes. Definitely tugged at the heartstrings, opened the waterworks. His own waterworks opened when he was talking about how Brie played the huge role into encouraging him to continue to chase his dreams. Every time Bryan would get the okay from a specialist, Brie said, go to another, and go to another. And so the main thing Bryan said about those 2 years was keep fighting for your dreams. And Bryan said there was a time where it seemed impossible, but now it's real. And he thanked all the doctors. He thanked them for looking at him as a person and not a wrestler. He's grateful for that. Thanked the fans that supported him the entire time. Then he goes on to the fun stuff. And this was my favorite moment, Matt, when he goes, I don't know when or where I'm going to get back in the ring. And 90% of the crowd pointed at the sign. I thought that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh my god. Brian's like, that sounds like a good idea. And of course, the yes chance. Amazing moment. This moment will live on for decades to come in WWE history. It was one of those truly amazing moments. After the commercial, Bryan runs into Charles Robinson, Little Nate. He congratulated him. And Bryan asks Charles to let him know when Sammy and Kevin arrive. And Dolph Ziggler shows up and goes, I can't wait to beat you. Bryan says, well, you could try. I can't wait for that match either, because that would be a killer match as well. Nakamura and Rusev get a rematch after their great Fastlane match. This one was not quite as great, obviously. Nakamura getting the win after about 7 minutes. Decent match, but obviously it was hard to top what they did at Fastlane. After the match, English and Rusev attack Nakamura. AJ kind of takes his sweet time to help Nakamura, and by the time he stood up, Nakamura had everything under control, playing off of Nakamura helping out Styles the week before. They aired a video package of Asuka, and Charlotte was watching it on the television backstage. Natty walks up to her and says that Charlotte's afraid. This leads to a match later on in the night. Ty Dillinger took on Baron Corbin. Unfortunately for Ty, he's in Jobberville. This took 3 minutes. And
they screwed up the finish pretty badly.
Did Ty screw up? Or
honest to God, I don't know who you place the blame on.
Corbin looked kind of pissed.
At the end of the day, the finish was not good. And like the match itself was fine, but the finish is what everybody's going to remember, and the finish was not good.
Well, on the opposite end of the spectrum, Charlotte and Natalya was a pretty damn good match. No surprise, they have good chemistry in the ring. They went for about 13 minutes. And but what about Natalya getting the win? I mean, obviously there was...
that didn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, WWE logic. Carmella tried to cash in. Distraction.
Yeah, but Charlotte should not be losing any matches on the road to facing Asuka at WrestleMania. To me, it was a bad call.
She's losing matches on the road to WrestleMania. Last week I said Charlotte could possibly end the streak at WrestleMania. That's still making my conspiracy theory that the streak ends at WrestleMania. I don't know if I'll have the balls to predict it on our preview show.
That's a terrible idea.
I'm not saying it's what I want. I'm saying I'm predicting it.
The girl that couldn't beat Natalya beats Asuka.
I know.
It's terrible.
Usos cut a good promo, talking about all the stuff that's been going down with the Bludgeon Brothers, leading up to the match with Harper and Jimmy. This only went about 4 minutes. Dominant win by Harper. Obviously, with the Usos hurting, it made sense to have a dominant win for the Bludgeon Brothers. As well done. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Greg Hamilton said Luke Harper. Whoops. It's Harper!
There's no Luke anymore, you jobber.
Let's say from Jinder Mahal.
Do we have to?
We heard it.
I tuned him out.
Yeah, I just wish this was Rude Norton Part 2. You could make a couple matches at WrestleMania rematches from previous pay-per-views. I would have been fine with this one being a WrestleMania match where they could have made something special. Like I said, I did not hate Jinder's title reign, but I hate Jinder being in this feud. I wish it was just strictly Orton and Rude. But oh well. Naomi and Becky took on Liv and Sarah Morgan. Went 3 minutes. Basically, all this did was announce that they're in the Royal Rumble or in the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, whatever you want to call it now. Then we get to the main event. Daniel Bryan returns to the ring. Talked about how it was a big night. There's something we got to take care of, though. I'm still the GM, and Kevin and Sami need to come out. They each hugged Bryan because of the good news. And they said they weren't even going to show up because we knew Shane wasn't going to be there. But we got the notification that you were cleared to return, so we drove there, even though we were late by a dumb cop because they were speeding. And then Owen says, in Texas, everything's dumber in Texas. That's a good way to get some heat. And Zayn talked about how Bryan was fair with them, even though Shane wasn't. And is more than excited to hear that he's cleared to compete again. Bryan says, I appreciate it all, but that's not why I brought you guys out here. I didn't bring you out here to kiss my ass. I brought you here to fire you. And they look stunned at the news. Bryan says, hey, I've been fired twice. When was the other time he was fired? I know the tie choke.
I'm assuming before we even remember, I'm assuming he might have been brought in for a stint in the company in the early 2000s or whatever and was let go. Like I'm assuming that's what he meant because everybody remembers the tie choking incident, but I'm not sure anybody remembers like the first time.
He probably wrestled like a Velocity or something, kind of like what Ambrose did back in the day and many others. before they came back and made a name for themselves. I said, this ain't the end. It's just the end for now. And Bryan insisted that Sammy and Kevin shake their hands, and they did. Oh, is everything going to just end peacefully, Matt? Yeah, right.
Ray Charles saw this finish coming.
Yep. And it's so weird to say, but it was great to see Daniel Bryan get beat up, and it was even greater to see Daniel Bryan come back and hit some offense. Oh my God, the crowd for those yes kicks. Fucking, the whole thing was great. And of course, it all led to the apron powerbomb on Daniel Bryan to close the show. Again, Matt, on paper, just like with Rousey and Angle, on paper, we weren't excited for this. We weren't. I'm excited for it now. This was well done at the end of SmackDown. What were your thoughts?
Not excited for this. What are you referencing?
Like on paper, the fact that maybe Daniel Bryan's going to team with Shane. The rumors were there.
No, dude, and look, I was not excited about seeing KO versus Sami Zayn. Anytime you're going to give me the possibility that Daniel Bryan's going to wrestle again, you have my attention and you have my excitement. Even though it's a tag match with Shane McMahon, I'm very excited about this match. I was not excited about the idea of KO versus Sami Zayn 10,055.
So good stuff there. What do you think happens? They're off for a week and come back on the go home after Vince announces the match. That seemed the most logical, or?
Yeah, it'll be very curious to see what they do on SmackDown next week.
Or
if Shane and Bryan are both there, or if one or the other are there, or if Vince comes out and says it for them. Like, I don't know. Like, they also need to hire KO and Sammy back within the next 2 weeks. Because technically KO and Sammy shouldn't be at SmackDown next week.
Yeah.
Because they're not employed, so why should they be there? So it'll be really interesting to see how they choose to, tie this all together within the next 2 weeks.
Because they shouldn't keep Daniel off TV after after the announcement.
And I feel like they need to do this next week.
Yeah.
Like the week of WrestleMania. No, like the week of WrestleMania, SmackDown's always a throwaway show. And I don't know if it's going to be this year, but more often than not, SmackDown's always like a throwaway show the week of Mania. So, like, for real, for Raw and for SmackDown, like, next week's the week. Like, next week, all the matches need to be locked down and decided. They can't be, like, announcing last-minute, announcing or finalizing last-minute matches the week of WrestleMania.
No.
Like, the card, like, next week is
That's what you do. That's what you do.
That's what you do at Battleground.
That's what you do at Battleground.
Yeah, well, this ain't fucking Battleground.
No.
Like, they need to lock that fucking card down next week. By the time SmackDown ends next week, we need to know about Undertaker. We need to know about the tag match. We need to know about all this shit. All this shit needs to be worked out by the time SmackDown goes off the air next week at 10 p.m. That we need. All the ducks need to be in a row, because you can't be finalizing matches the week of WrestleMania. Don't do that. That's not right. That's not the way you want to be doing that.
And finally, Strong Style Evolved is this Sunday. We will cover it on next week's show. Just a quick rundown of the card. SoCal Uncensored will take on Roppongi 3K and Rocky Romero. David Finlay and Juice Robinson take on Gato and Hiroki Goto. Chucky T and Toru Yano take on Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer. Marty Scurll and Cody take on Tangaloa and Tama Tonga in a battle of Bullet Club. 8-man tag, Dragon Lee, Taguchi, Kushida, and Tanahashi take on Naito, Sanada, Bushi, and Takahashi. As Matt just said earlier in the show, no longer Ray, but Will Ospreay taking on Jushin Thunder Liger. Tomohiro Ishii tags with Okada to take on Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki. Jay White versus Hangman Page for the U.S. IWGP U.S. title. And the main event, the Golden Lovers and the Young Bucks. And that main event is going to be fucking great, right, Matt?
Yeah, but beyond that, I'm just gonna tell you straight up. Like, I'm not a fan of this card.
What don't you like about it?
It's too multi-man heavy.
Yeah.
Like the last time New Japan was in Long Beach, they were very smart. They did 2 nights of wrestling, and in the same venue, and they had a bunch of great singles matches. Yeah, they had some tag matches and some multi-matches, but they didn't, like, overabundant the card. I feel like they made a huge mistake by coming back for 1 night instead of 2 this time around, and they tried to cram too many talents onto one show, and honestly, you look up and down that card, it looks like a giant clusterfuck.
Mm.
And it's cool to see all that talent there in one place, but there's way too many multi-man matches, and I feel this might end up hurting the overall quality of the show.
Well, we will give our thoughts on next Thursday's show, what we think of Strong Style Evolved. Again, that airs on Access TV live on Sunday evening. Check your local listings. That's going to do it for this edition of Lost in the Midcard. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure that you do a search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Thursday and Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also find us on the YouTube and links to all that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. On the pinned post there and on the pinned tweet at LITMC Podcast as well. We also share a lot of great stuff from the wrestling world, so give us a follow at LITMC Podcast. Matt is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I am on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
We had a week of surprises this week already. Between Daniel Bryan being cleared and the Ultimate Deletion going so well, it was great. So I really hope we get another strong week next week, and we figure out where to go from there.
For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We will catch you next week.